Hello, everybody. Welcome to EL-Injurico. This is our La Liga show, part of the TFD Futbol Channel. Subscribe to the channel. And joining us today is Mills, Hugo, and Dr. Grayval. Dr. Grayval, how are you doing? How's your week been so far?
It's been great. I can't complain. And it's been dry out here, okay? It's been beautiful.
Okay, interesting. Well, we are getting pretty rainy out here in the Midwest.
Mm.
Hugo, our Spanish super awesome trainer, how are you doing? I thought trainers don't get sick. What happened to you?
Oh man, I wish, right? I wish I was as true as they say. But good, man, good. Enjoying some relatively warm weather here before apparently we're getting a nice cold storm next week. So
Okay, nice. Well, Ian Rappaport of the TFT Futbol Channel, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. How's everyone doing today?
Doing good. Well, a lot of crazy news in European football. I know it's the La Liga show, but we have to touch upon the Juventus losing 15 points. Dr. Grayval, any thoughts on that? History repeating itself?
History repeating itself. I guess they never learned their lesson the first time. So I guess, yeah. And you know what? Funny enough, they did like a lot of people. They took COVID as, I guess, an opportunity to try to skim some bucks here and there and cook their books.
Huh?
So
They
classic
even made a
football time.
documentary on it. There's a Netflix
Yeah,
documentary on the
yeah.
scandal. Guess
My, g-
cheaters are always cheaters. That's such a bummer.
I mean, they actually said. I mean, the federal appeals court actually reopened the 2021 investigation because of that. Between 2018 and 2020, all of their losses were misrepresented. How in the world
Okay.
can you do that?
Well, like Italian mafia for a reason, right? So let's
The
go.
rumors are going to
Uh,
Uh,
fire back up.
I know. Sweet. La Liga is not incident free as well. One of the biggest stars of Barcelona, ex Barcelona, as well as, I don't know, Barcelona legend for sure, Dani Alves, arrested, sentenced to prison without a bail. Hugo, do you want to give us your thoughts on that and kind of like let's dive deep into it?
yeah, I mean, like you said, I got arrested for some sexual assault in December, I believe, and sadly, it's not the first time we hear a story like that with a football player. And I'm always curious of what's going to happen with the follow through, right? It
Mm-hmm.
seems like sometimes they get away with stuff. I don't. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that.
I don't know. I think Barca defenders are having some problems. Piqué had a breakup. Shakira did a song just pulling
That's
his
been
legs.
all over the place. That's been the
I,
main news in Spain.
I know. Everyone's talking about that. No one wants to talk about football. Sweet. Let's get started. Any takeaway, Mills? Any takeaway from the Spanish Super Cup last week?
Look, it was some great matches. Great matches. Pretty much everybody is, they're pretty much in form. La Liga is pretty much in form. Everybody is doing great, and but it really all just comes down is how healthy is the midfield, because that's what drives any team. And also, like, a lot of them are struggling in attack. So we'll just see whoever can generate, like, just like it comes down to whoever has the most goals wins. Whoever can generate some sort of
Okay.
attack will win. Yeah.
That's like Trent Dilford saying you can't win a game without losing or something like that. Come on, Mills. Don't be generic out here. Okay, Dr. Keval, do you think Real Madrid is going to bounce back this week? You're a big Real Madrid fan along with Hugo. Thoughts on Real Madrid? I think they have the biggest game this week.
Well, I think they already bounced back. They had a nice showing in the Copa del Rey, right? They were down
Yep.
2-0 and came back there. So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, it's in their DNA, all right? They don't stay down for long. So they came back Copa del Rey, and I think they're coming for the La Liga crown. They're still back of Barca right now.
Yep, they're behind Barca. They play Athletic Club this week. It's not an easy matchup, but top 10 matchup. The odds are not either. Real Madrid is probably favored by like a slight margin. Hugo, thoughts on Real Madrid and Karim Benzema? Looks like you guys are going to re-sign him as well.
Yeah, so it seems like he's going to resign again. We know Real Madrid's policy with his players over 30 years old. Usually, it's a 1 year deal, but I mean, we're happy to keep him there for one more year. Especially right now, we're struggling with the attack. Real Madrid is having a hard time scoring goals, producing attack. So I'm happy to say, and I'm happy happy to have him there. Hopefully 2 more years even.
I feel Benzema has been in Real Madrid for the last 35 years. I don't know why.
It feels
oh
like
my
it.
God. Dude's
mean,
been
it feels
forever.
like-
but hey, he's super productive. 11 goals and 16 appearances.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Any concerns about his re-injury at all, Dr. Gribal? Or are we good on his whatever injury he's dealing with?
Well, yeah, I mean, we never really got full diagnosis. I don't know,
Yeah, exactly.
fatigue,
Yeah.
strain, or whatever. But no, I think he's okay. I think the World Cup, as much as I'm sure he would have loved to have played and helped France, it was a nice time off for him. It allowed him to rehab and get back to 100%. And so far, it looks like he's not experiencing any issues or discomfort. I think he's been a full participant in training, plus in the matches. So yeah, I would consider him 100% at this point in the season.
Okay, nice. Mills, any injury updates? I know Real Madrid was pretty ravaged with injuries last couple of weeks. How are they
Yeah.
looking leading up to the Athletic Club matchup?
Yeah, they have 3 main injuries. Of course, we all know Lucas Vasquez. He actually has a high ankle sprain. He's going to be out for 6 to 7 weeks. David Alaba, he has a right calf strain, so he also is out. And also the Frenchman Aurelien Tchouameni, he also has a soleus muscle strain, which is pretty much a little. That's the top muscle. That's one of the top muscles. That's the top muscle in your calf, and he also has a calf strain, and he's going to be out. So those guys are the 3 main ones that are out for Real Madrid.
Okay, Dr. Grayval, any do you want to expand on any of those injuries?
No, I mean, they all came at a tough time. For Vasquez, it's gonna be a lot of time to let it heal and then getting range of motion back. And then for both the kind of calf strains there, just gonna be sort of seeing once they can kind of walk comfortably, then get them running again. But really high risk for re-injury when it comes to calf injuries for footballers. So definitely don't want to rush either of them back.
Okay. Do you guys want to make a pick for the game? Real Madrid, of course. Harges and Hugo are probably going to pick Real Madrid, so I'm just going to ask Mills. Mills, who do you think is going to win the Athletic Club Real Madrid game?
Despite the main injuries, there's still too much firepower on Real Madrid for them not to win. So I'm going Real Madrid. I'd say 2-0. Said 2-0, and prop bet Vinicius Jr. will be the anytime scorer.
Okay, we'll see about that. We'll check up on it next week. Let's jump into Barca coming off a pretty high win last week, and they play. What is the Barca playing?
Getafe.
Getafe. Oh, my bad. Okay, Hugo, take it away. We have some transfer news about Barca too. Do you want to touch upon that?
From Barca, we know that Memphis Depay left to go to Atletico Madrid, right? You were saying they have a clause in that contract of maybe signing Carrasco. I forgot for how much, but I know they have that option there. And for this game, man, like you said, they're coming off a big win against Real Madrid in the weekend, champions of the Super Cup. If they win, they have a chance to go 6 points ahead of Real Madrid with that tough match they have against Athletic Club. And I think for Barca, Frankie de Jong and Gavi have been really, really big pieces on this new Xavi era. So I think we're going to see a lot of them. They're going to be key pieces for the rest of the season.
Are Gavi and Xavi related? They kind of play the same positions, right? I'm just kidding. Mills, any injury updates on Barcelona here?
Nope. Barcelona is match fit. They just have, from what I'm seeing, they just have 2. So they just have 2 suspended, Ferran Torres, and they said Robert Lewandowski is still. Is he still suspended because he has 2?
Okay.
He still has 2
LaLiga,
games.
right?
He still has 2 games left on his disciplinary one for the red card, and Getafe is fully fit, no injuries.
Okay. Well, looks like Barca needs to stop fighting. So, on a doctor's perspective, do you have any recommendation to not fight with the opponents?
Oh, I don't think it's a doctor's perspective. I mean, you just have to control your emotions out there on the field, right? I think
Mental health. Let's meditate in the field.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of meds that can chill a lot of people out. There's a lot of substances that can do that, but I don't think those would be very useful for an athlete out there.
Okay, sweet.
Give us some Aldol to level them out. Get some Aldol. Get some Aldol to level them out.
uh, so talking about Atletico Madrid, they're getting Memphis Depay, and looks like Carrasco might go in the summer, but they still have him for the rest of the season. They play Real Valladolid this week. Any injury updates we need to be concerned about, Mills?
Nope. Just like I said, the suspension for Atletico Madrid. Stefan Savic, he is out for this game with a 1-game suspension with a straight red, and Sergio Regulon, he has a red card. He is also out. And for Real Valladolid, they have just a few. They have the Brazilian Kennedy. He is actually out with with adductor tendonitis.
Okay.
And also
What is that, Dr. Grayball? What is that? What's he
It's
talking
fancy
about?
for groin, pull the
Okay.
groin.
Yeah,
He pulled the grind. Okay, that's simple.
yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
And Sergio Escudero, he has a muscular injury and he's doubtful for this match.
Okay. So Dr. Grayball, so typically like I know like everyone, it's kind of like a known fact, EPL is more aggressive league than La Liga. Does that add to the injury factor? Because we don't see a lot of injuries in La Liga compared to EPL and even like German football or Italian football.
Well, so I would. There's probably a lot. We'd probably do like a full podcast and deep dive into it. But one is there's more games for the English clubs, so I think they take on a little more load. And then the second thing I would probably add in is that you could argue that for even a lot of the lower clubs, they have way bigger like sports science and human performance departments. So I think that they are more willing to hold a guy out for a little bit longer than some of the Spanish teams, especially some of the lower teams in the Spanish ranks who may not have that and may have an element of pressure on players to come back because they're fighting to stay up, and things like that. Whereas I think, for some of those lower teams, yeah, it's great to stay in the EPL. It makes a lot of sense financially, but I mean, the championship is still pretty good, and those clubs still do well in those situations. So, I mean, those are some of the factors. And then, yeah, at the end of the day, anyone who's watched, the playing style is pretty aggressive compared to La Liga, at least.
Yeah. Fun. Well, the next big one, I think, I feel it's Real Sociedad and who do Real Sociedad play? Mills?
Real Vallecano.
Hugo, how do you
Vallecano?
pronounce that? Sorry.
Rayo
Vallecano. So Rayo,
Okay.
yeah, Rayo Vallecano.
Rayo Vallecano. Okay, there you
Yeah,
go.
Vallecano.
So I think Real Sociedad has a pretty easy matchup there. Hugo, your analysis on that game?
Yeah, Real Sociedad is having a really, really strong season. They're third right now, and they're right there with Barcelona and Real Madrid. Rayo Vallecano, on the other hand, not so much. So it should be another. I would put another victory for Real Sociedad here. They they have a tough game coming in Copa del Rey, though. They're playing Barca in the next round in the Copa del Rey. We had that draw.
Ooh.
So they're all they're competing still in every competition. They're in Europe. They're in Copa del Rey, and they're right there in La Liga. So I think they're going to come out strong and keep doing what they've been doing in the past few weeks.
Okay, sweet. So one last game we want to look at is Villarreal. I know, Hugo, you wanted to talk about that game. You put it in our agenda. What do we have to keep an eye on? I know Villarreal is in a good form right now.
Yeah, so I think that's actually going to be probably one of the most fun games of the weekend in La Liga this weekend. Like I said last weekend, guys, Girona is third in most goal scores in La Liga this year. Villarreal is playing great football. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Just to throw it out there, a prop bet, I would put it over the 2.5 goals in that game. So, I mean, Villarreal they seem like they're clicking under Quique Setién, finally. And Chukwueze, Pino, and Gerard Moreno at the top are just killing it right now. So, and Girona, like I said last game, they beat Sevilla in a tough game. And
I know, yeah, that was.
So they're coming on a good streak too. They're playing well. So I think I'm really excited to watch this one. At least 3 goals in this game.
Okay, I like that prop out there. Mills, I know Villarreal had some injuries, or was that Valencia?
That's so no, Villarreal has a couple of injuries, but like I said, two of the like Hugo said, two of the hottest teams coming into this match. Kiko Feminia, he has a muscular injury that's going to keep him out until early February. Juan Foyt, he actually has an AC joint sprain. That's your that's your run of the mill shoulder sprain, but that's a grade 1. He did play last match, but he was subbed out early because of it. And also Alfonso Pedraza, I've been looking at this one. A lot of reports said it was a hamstring strain, but it actually, since he's going to be out until mid-February, I have say it could be a grade 2 injury, which is a hamstring tear. So he may have tore one of the 3 muscles that make up the hamstring.
Awesome.
And,
Dr. Grable, give me a sec, Milt.
Yeah.
Does AC joint play a big factor in football? Or
Great question. Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, that's in theory an injury that someone could play through because you could get some taping, plus you can get an injection into the area to sort of relieve the pain for the short term during the game. And guys who play football and hockey, where there's a lot more shoulder involvement, can actually play through that. And so I'm not going to sit here and say that soccer is a non-contact sport, because it is. And especially as a defender, you're going to be in there shoulder to shoulder on a lot of tackles, talking free kicks and corners as well. So I mean, it's not that like there's nothing, but if they felt the need to, they could put him out there. But I do appreciate that they're going to give him some time off here, try to get back to 100%, so he doesn't have to go through that process.
Okay, that's awesome. Hugo, any other matchups we need to be looking forward to this week?
I think we covered them all. I think the ones I wanted to look at there, we got the top teams there in the league. Like I said, there's a few good games, of course, Barcelona, Real Madrid, but I would suggest you guys watch Villarreal and Girona. It should be pretty fun.
Okay. Well, I know there was a game today. Mallorca beat who did they beat? Oh my God, they beat Celta Vigo 1-0. So that's today's matchup. So hopefully, I think it'll be a good football weekend, both for EPL and La Liga. A couple of high-scoring games, I guess. Well, I have to end up with a parlay. Last week I missed it by 1 game. Okay.
You always miss it by like 1 game.
I know, it always
1 game.
It always happens. That's why the Vegas loves parlays, because they want people to hit a parlay and they lose. But again, we are going to be on it again. And this week's parlay, it's a 6-leg parlay.
Ooh.
It might be a little tricky, but let's see. So this is what it is: Atletico Madrid to win, Barca to win, Villarreal to win, Valencia to win, Sevilla to win, and Real Madrid to win. So it's a 6-leg parlay, and the odds are plus 1,242. So essentially, if you put $100, you get like $1,200. So I think I'm not gonna put $100 in, because I think that's a lot of money for now, especially after what happened the last 4 to 5 weeks. So let's see how it goes. High hopes this week, so let's rock and roll. Final thoughts, Hugo. Do you want to give a closing comment on your beautiful Venezuelan Spanish here? And then Harjit can finish with hola.
Claro que sí. Pero bueno, nada, gracias a todos por vernos otra vez. Nos vemos el próximo viernes, un episodio más de la Liga con EL-Injurico. Hasta luego. Chao, chao.
Okay, later, guys.
Hasta luego.